Live from Chicago, this is Fox 32 News at noon.
Next at noon, shocking details about Chicago Public Schools. The new report just released from the Office of the Inspector General.
Curbing teen violence, the latest from City Hall on a vote to enforce a curfew for teens.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Sylvia Perez.
And I'm Natalie Bompke, and we want to take you live outside just as soon as we bring you in here. And boy, doesn't the bean look great.
Yeah, not as many people out there today, but still fairly mild out there. Caitlin, what can we expect when it comes to the forecast today?
It's going to be a really nice day. So we do still have some fog out there, and we're fighting with the cloud cover, but we're starting to see some clearing. And behind me, I wanted to show you the big picture because southwestern locations especially starting to get in on some sunshine. But you saw even from that live shot of the bean that the clouds are starting to break apart. So the rest of the day is actually going to be a really nice one to be outside. Our dense fog alerts are all gone. So we had that dense fog earlier this morning. Things have gotten better, but you still are going to see the fog out there, especially from DeKalb County, where we have 3/4 of a mile of visibility, 1 1/4 there in Aurora. The rest of us, we're doing okay. Now, temperatures, they're going to feel nice. 37 degrees now at the lakefront, 34 degrees at O'Hare, still freezing in DeKalb and Woodstock, and that's where the fog is. Watch out for slick spots on the roads there. But it's 34 in Waukegan and 39 in Gary, 38 in Valpo. Temperatures today pushing into the 40s with that sunshine. I'm encouraging you to enjoy this because we have the clouds building tonight, and then the chance for rain is back tomorrow. Scattered showers are going to be here into the evening. We could see ponding and puddling, but the temperatures are going to be fantastic. Highs in the upper 50s tomorrow. Friday, 55, but then temperatures drop, and this weekend it's going to be quite cold with the chance for snow at the Bears game. A full check of your forecast is coming up.
Wow.
Thank you, Caitlin. A newly released annual report from the Office of Inspector General is revealing some shocking information when it comes to CPS.
Yeah, that report has found more than 24 sexual misconduct allegations in the CPS school systems, as well as falsified grant applications. It specifically found many instances of sexual misconduct happening on one CPS campus, which was not identified by name, as well as those falsified grant applications. And those applications allegedly defrauded CPS out of more than $88,000. A vendor and the CPS network chief were both indicted and entered plea agreements. Out of the 26 people investigated for sexual misconduct, 6 have been charged criminally, 4 convicted.
A key body overseeing police accountability in the city of Chicago is looking for new voices. The District Council Nominating Committee is launching the application process to fill 3 vacancies on the Community Commission for Public Safety and Accountability. It's also known as CCPSA. The commission was established in 2021. It serves as the city's highest oversight and public safety body.
As the Commission faces new challenges, the current vacancies before us present a critical moment for Chicago. These are opportunities for community members to step forward and help protect, strengthen, and advance the reforms that have already been hard-won.
Officials say 2 of those seats will be reserved for Chicagoans between the ages of 18 to 24, giving young residents a direct role in shaping public safety policy. The 3rd seat is open to a qualified applicant from anywhere in the city. People can start applying this summer. City and county leaders are coming together to address the growing crisis of domestic violence against women. Today, the Violence Against Women Task Force officially kicked off. The effort aims to confront the rise in domestic violence and deadly attacks impacting women, children, and vulnerable communities. The task force will bring together government leaders and nonprofit partners to develop policy recommendations and prevention strategies moving forward. So the question of the day is, will the city enforce a curfew for teens?
So today, the Public Safety Committee is expected to vote on a proposal that will allow police to impose a curfew with 12 hours notice. That proposal was first introduced by 2nd Ward Alderman Brian Hopkins after multiple teen takeovers downtown. Coming up, our political reporter Pear Schutz will have more on this developing story. And it is now day 4 of a husband's desperate search for his missing wife, Linda Brown.
Roseanne Tellez has the latest from police.
Linda Brown is a special education teacher here at Healy Elementary School in Bridgeport. This morning, parents have been telling us they are worried and fielding a lot of questions from their children. Police say Brown was last seen Saturday afternoon in the 4500 block of Martin Luther King Jr. Drive in Bronzeville, near her home.
Please come home. Your family is missing you. I'm missing you. Your friends are missing you. Linda, we need you to come home, baby. Seriously, we need you to come home.
Her husband, Antoine, says the two watched a movie together Friday, and when he woke up Saturday, she was gone. He assumed at her acupuncture appointment, but she never made it to that appointment, and when calls and messages went unanswered, the family went to police. A missing persons flyer has been distributed, and the family's forced to wait for any information. Her husband calls it out of character. Parents at the school told us they are saying prayers for the family.
I hope they find her soon. I did see the news, and I feel bad for the family and the husband. I just can't imagine what he's going through. So I hope they find her soon and she comes back, because I think it's taking a toll on the kids too. She was a wonderful teacher.
I mean, don't we have like GPS on our cars and we have GPS on our phones? We have cameras everywhere. How come, nobody's seeing anything anywhere?
Right.
Like a timeline. There has to be some kind of timeline.
It's not good. The place is safe, just, I don't know. We feel bad for the teacher.
And her family.
And the family, your husband, the kids.
Police say Brown may be traveling in a blue Honda Civic. They are hoping to get some new clues very soon. Meantime, the school is offering counseling to staff and students who are troubled over this story. From Bridgeport, Roseanne Tejas, Fox Chicago.
Thank you, Roseanne. And happening right now, a bond hearing for the man charged in a deadly hit and run. Police say it happened on December 31st at a Riverdale gas station near the corner of East 146th Street and Indiana Avenue. Officers claim Barry Lewis hit and killed 72-year-old Harriet Reynolds while she was walking in the parking lot. Then they say Lewis lied about what happened. He turned himself in on Monday and is now facing multiple charges. While Venezuela's former leader, Nicolas Maduro, sits in a jail in New York City, the United States is ramping up its crackdown of the country's black market oil industry.
Now, many Democratic lawmakers believe his arrest was always about oil, and they are trying to get a sense of what comes next. Rebecca Castor has the latest developments from Washington.
Wednesday morning, U.S. forces boarded and seized two sanctioned oil tankers, one in the Caribbean and one in the North Atlantic, known for transporting oil from Venezuela to countries like Iran, Russia, and China.
At the end of the day, Venezuela was the stopping place for everybody in the world who hated America.
The seizures come just hours after President Trump announced Venezuela will be turning over between 30 to 50 million barrels of oil for the U.S. to refine and sell. More than $2 billion worth at today's prices.
This is heavy, sour crude oil. A lot of the refineries in the Houston area, in the Louisiana area, are designed to refine that type of fuel. So the president opening this up again to U.S. refiners, I think is very big news.
The takeover of Venezuelan oil reserves comes after U.S. Special Forces captured the country's illegitimate leader, Nicolas Maduro, in a dramatic raid over the weekend. He's now facing drug trafficking-related charges in the U.S., but some lawmakers are questioning what President Trump's real motivations are.
What the president keeps talking about is oil. Are we in the business now of using American military power to obtain natural resources from countries around the world?
The White House didn't notify Congress before the raid, and officials briefed many lawmakers for the first time on it Wednesday.
I think the administration is winging it minute to minute.
Really, the question that I have today is, what are the next steps?
President Trump plans to meet with oil executives Friday to discuss new opportunities in Venezuela. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox Chicago.
Well, President Trump still has his eyes on Greenland. White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller hinted that the U.S. will move to take over that territory sooner rather than later, claiming it's part of a long-term strategy to help NATO allies.
To protect and defend NATO and NATO interests, obviously Greenland should be part of the United States.
What kind of adventurism is this? The language Miller used comes right out of the 1930s.
Denmark's prime minister claimed any strike on Greenland would mean the end of the NATO alliance. More to come on Fox 32 News at noon.
For the first time, the U.S. backs security guarantees for Ukraine.
And a pilot is suing Boeing for scapegoating after a jet panel blew out during mid-flight.
patients who have sensitive teeth.
.12:11 now. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is in Cyprus for more meetings regarding a peace deal with Russia.
Greg Palcott has the latest.
Russian forces launching a massive attack on central Ukraine overnight as European and Ukrainian officials meet again to advance peace talks.
This is a really important building block towards an eventual peace deal.
All this one day after the U.S. for the first time supported a coalition of Ukrainian allies in providing security guarantees to Kyiv if a ceasefire is reached. The UK and France signed a declaration pledging troops to a multinational force aimed at deterring Moscow and building up Ukraine's military.
It would be to support Ukraine's capabilities, it would be to conduct deterrence operations and to construct and protect military hubs.
Europe would lead the force with proposed support from the U.S. But Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says the agreement is not legally binding and urged the Trump administration to keep pressure on Russia.
There are still questions regarding the 20-point document. The biggest question that needs to be worked on is the question of territories.
Some in Ukraine fear the deployment of European troops won't have a strong impact and say the war's outcome depends on Russian President Vladimir Putin.
I don't think that the European Union troops will take part in active hostilities. Our guys will still be on the front lines. They will still be dying.
Ukrainian President Zelensky says he plans to meet with President Trump again soon for talks, possibly in Washington. In London, Greg Palcott, Fox Chicago.
A CIA officer who was convicted of spying for Russia has died in prison. Aldrich Ames admitted that he gave U.S. secrets to Russia in exchange for money from 1985 until his arrest in 1994. He pleaded guilty to espionage and tax evasion. Leaders blame his spy work for the executions of Western CIA agents during the Cold War. Prosecutors say he held valuable intelligence from America for years. A spokesperson for the Bureau of Prisons confirmed that Ames died in a Maryland prison on Monday. He was 84 years old.
President Trump is issuing a warning to Republicans ahead of the midterm elections. The president says he believes if the party loses the House in November, he will eventually be impeached.
We don't win the midterms. It's just going to be, they'll find a reason to impeach me. I'll get impeached. We don't impeach them. You know why? Because they're meaner than we are. We should have impeached Joe Biden for 100 different things.
Trump was impeached twice during his first term in office.
Minnesota now the target for what ICE is calling its largest immigration enforcement operation ever. 2,000 agents are reportedly in the state to arrest immigrants there illegally with a focus on criminals. The Department of Homeland Security posted videos showing the arrest of a man who was convicted of robbery and wanted for murder and sexual assault in his home country of Ecuador. And meantime, Hilton removing a Minnesota hotel from its system after it denied bookings for ICE agents. The Department of Homeland Security called the hotel out on social media. Hotel said it was correcting the issue, but then another person posing as a Homeland Security employee posted a video of themselves being denied a room at the same hotel. And we have some breaking news right now. A judge has delayed Nick Reiner's arraignment in the killing of his parents. Just moments ago, Reiner's high-profile attorney asked to be replaced by a public defender. So that's a story that will continue to follow. The 32-year-old faces first-degree murder charges in the stabbing deaths of Hollywood director, his parents, Rob and Michelle Singer Reiner. Now, he has yet to enter a plea. However, legal analysts expect he will plead not guilty, an attempt to base a defense around his mental health issues. Sources told People magazine that Nick Reiner was removed from suicide watch earlier this week and is being held in solitary confinement.
An Alaska Airlines pilot is suing Boeing after he safely landed a plane when a door plug panel blew out after takeoff in 2024. Captain Brandon Fisher says he believes Boeing wrongly tried to blame him and the rest of the crew in past legal filings. Fisher's attorneys say that Boeing attempted to deflect liability despite what the NTSB investigation found. Boeing has not commented on the lawsuit.
And it's now been 1 year since the massive LA County wildfires.
Two big fires ignited within hours of each other, torching the celebrity-studded Pacific Palisades and working-class Altadena areas. They burned for a month. At least 12 people were killed. Even today, the recovery is far from over. However, the community remains united. Organizations such as the YMCA have become vital lifelines, providing everything from food to trauma counseling for families who lost it all. For many, this local aid is the only thing making the recovery process possible.
The help they gave us, groceries, from mental health services, workshops, it's helped a lot.
Free membership, free summer camp, free child care, mental health support, all to anyone that needs it, are now extended through 2026.
Since last year's fire, only 179 new home permits have been approved in the fire-damaged areas.
12:17, and let's take a live look at the beautiful city skyline out there. I'm noticing some sunshine.
Looks good. Oh,
yeah.
It looks fake. It's very pretty.
I know,
huh?
right?
Clouds are breaking.
Caitlin?
Yes, we got to go outside today and soak it in. It'll help us with this seasonal feeling of kind of sadness. We do have some thinning of the clouds, not only over Chicago, but locations north all the way up the northern portion of Cook County, Lake County now seeing some clearing. Also in northwest Indiana, you can see northern Porter County, Michigan City, you have some sunshine, Kankakee, you have some thinner clouds. So this is our map to show that we are starting to break out in some sunshine. Now, we also have some fog still close to ground, especially in western areas like DeKalb, LaSalle. You might see that fog out there. Visibility is currently at 1 1/4 from DeKalb to Aurora at 1 1/4. 4 miles at LaSalle. I see 3 in Waukegan. We're doing okay, though. Improvement is happening. Temperatures, they're warming up, too. 37 degrees at the lakefront right now. 41 in Gary and 36 from Chicago Heights to 38 in Kankakee. I see freezing from Woodstock to DeKalb, so it is chilly out there in our northwestern counties. But the rest of us are warming up nicely, and highs today are going to be back into the 40s, around 45 degrees with that sunshine, as mentioned, especially the rest of the day. We're going to have that clearing trend continue. This evening, 7 p.m., temperatures hovering around 40 degrees. And then tonight, the clouds are back. Tomorrow, we have the chance for rain. So that's why you should enjoy today and get outside, because tomorrow afternoon, we're all going to be indoors. Now, we are going to have the clouds, scattered showers, even heavy at times possible, especially Thursday evening. Thursday night, we could hear a few rumbles of thunder. Temperatures, though, very nice, pushing into the mid-50s as we head into your Friday. But then notice we're going in the wrong direction. Working our way through Friday, temperatures are dropping instead of climbing. That cold air really settling in this weekend, with highs dropping down into the 30s by Sunday. Today, though, I do expect those mid to upper 40s. Tonight, 38, again, partly cloudy to mostly cloudy as we head head into tomorrow. It's going to be a warm day with a southerly wind, 56 degrees, but that chance for rain is back. I'll time it out for you on our maps coming up.
All right, thanks, Caitlin. Some big things are happening in space.
NASA astronauts will conduct a pair of spacewalks this month to prepare for the installation of a rollout of a solar array, essentially solar panels, and complete other tasks on the International Space Station. Walks are also called extravehicular activity, or EVA, where astronauts perform tasks outside the International Space Station. Once installed, the solar arrays will boost power to the ISS.
We continue to celebrate, as we go here, the International Space Station's 25 years of continuous human presence. We're advancing scientific knowledge and demonstrating new technologies that enable us to prepare for human exploration of the moon as we prepare for Mars.
Both spacewalks are expected to last about 6 hours. Well, trying to stay warm this winter could land you in the ER.
Coming up, what we all need to know to prevent space heater burns.
President Trump making a major push for a health care fix ahead of the midterm elections. I'm Lucas Tomlinson in Washington. I'll have the details coming up.
Welcome back. 12:23. Flu cases in the U.S. are now at their highest levels on record, going back to the late 90s. Right now, 30 states are in the agency's worst year for flu activity. The CDC has already reported more than 11 million cases.
As the country continues to deal with high flu cases, President Trump is pushing for a health care fix, and he wants it sooner rather than later.
But Democrats say his plan is too little, too late. Lucas Tomlinson has more from Washington.
Obamacare is bad, and the people understand it's bad.
President Trump is renewing his push for the GOP to make health care a big issue in the upcoming midterm elections. He told House Republicans on Tuesday, quote, "You can own health care," and called on them to pass a bill establishing private health care savings accounts, even though it means changing the so-called Hyde Amendment, barring taxpayer money from being used for abortions.
Let the money go directly to the people. Now, you have to be a little flexible on Hyde. You know that.
Democrats are also unlikely to support the measure, saying the savings accounts wouldn't even come close to covering the cost of health care for most families.
The cost of living is skyrocketing. Healthcare, utilities, rent. Americans are sacrificing if ever before.
Right now, there's no fix in place to help the millions of Americans whose premiums skyrocketed after Obamacare subsidies expired. And Republicans say Democrats are refusing to negotiate on any bill that doesn't include a 3-year extension on those subsidies.
We all know the 3-year is not going to become law. It failed in the Senate already.
The health care crisis also comes amid an unprecedented flu outbreak, with 45 states now reporting high or very high rates of infection.
On a national level, we really are seeing unprecedented numbers of cases as well as hospitalizations from flu, and it's not surprising.
A bipartisan group of senators is meeting this week to hash out a new plan combining subsidies with Obamacare changes. In Washington, Lucas Tomlinson, Fox Chicago.
Efforts to combat the bitter cold of winter could also lead to serious injuries. Listen to this. Experts say space heater burns common, especially during the winter months. They recommend keeping the area around the space heater clear and away from children or anyone who's unsteady on their feet. And if your winter self-care routine includes a hot bath, experts say you can avoid burns by making sure your water heater settings are not set too high.
Keeping your water heater at 120 degrees or lower, and the safe temperature for bathing is 100 degrees.
If you do experience a burn, the CDC recommends running cool water over the affected area for several minutes and then covering it with a clean, dry bandage.
A proposal to change the criteria for obesity could mean most adults in the U.S. would be classified as obese. New research suggesting adding waist and body fat measurements to the body mass index instead of just using overall body weight. Now, if adopted, it would result in nearly 70% of Americans over the age of 18 being considered obese. Under the current criteria, that figure is just under 43%. The issue of teen safety is now back in the spotlight at City Hall.
Coming up, we're going to have a live report on the latest effort to enforce a teen curfew in the city of Chicago.
An epic showdown.
Welcome back as we take a live look outside. Overcast skies, and yes, we're hoping that sun's going to come out. It seems like it wants to, and we are going to welcome it with open arms, Caitlin Cody.
Isn't that the truth?
Yes.
Absolutely. We already have some sunshine out there over our city. We also have some fog holding on in a few spots. But talking about our weather headlines, number one, 40s and 50s through Friday. We have a long stretch of very mild weather. In fact, over the next couple of days, the 50s, they're going to feel good. Unfortunately, though, we do have the chance for rain returning tomorrow and even on Friday, scattered showers. And then that potential for rain turns to a rain-snow mix on Saturday. So a wintry mix is possible on Saturday, believe it or not, as temperatures plummet this weekend. Right now, satellite radar showing the clouds are starting to get thinner, especially from Chicago, points south. Also, Kankakee, LaSalle County, you have a few breaks in the cloud cover. But I mentioned how we do still have some fog, especially in western areas. So don't be surprised if you're driving around, you see those visibilities drop from DeKalb all the way to Aurora. Temperatures right now are ranging in the 30s for most. A few of us in the low 40s. You lucky ones. In Gary, you're at 41. In Michigan City, 40. In Kankakee, 34, though, from Waukegan to O'Hare and Aurora. Freezing at Woodstock, as well as in DeKalb, 37 at LaSalle. Here's your futurecast. So today, again, highs in the mid-40s. We're going to have that clearing trend through the afternoon. This evening, quiet, 7:15. Temperatures starting to drop back down into the upper 30s. And then tonight, the clouds will build, and tomorrow the chance for rain is back. This is 11:30 tomorrow morning. So heading towards lunchtime, temperatures are hovering around 50 degrees already. It's going to feel very nice and mild for your lunchtime hour tomorrow. But then we have a few rounds of rain expected. Heading on into the evening even, 4:45, we're starting to get those reds and yellows indicating some heavier downpours and the chance for a few rumbles of thunder tomorrow night. Temperatures staying mild through the night into early Friday. So the 50s to start off the day on Friday, but then a cold front is going to be dragging those temperatures down as we head into the weekend. So let's take a look at our maps. High pressure anchored south of us today. It's really going to be a pleasant rest of our day once we get past the fog and the clouds. Here's that low pressure system bringing the chance for scattered showers. Warm temperatures staying in place, and then a cold front swings through. We're going to see that drastic drop in temperatures after it passes, and that's unfortunate timing for the Bears game. Of course, if you want to watch the Bears game, you can watch it here on Fox Chicago, 7 p.m. Saturday evening. Temperatures are going to be around 33 degrees to start the game at kickoff. Halftime, 28 and 24 expected to be the final temperature. So make sure you're dressed warm. 70 forecast temperatures. As I said, it's going to feel very nice and warm, mild, I should say, through the end of the week. I'm going to say 56, 55, that's warm over the next few days, but we have that potential for some rain. And when it comes down heavy, especially Thursday evening and Thursday night, we could have some punting and puddling on the roadways. And then this weekend, a high of about 40 on Saturday with that chance for wet weather, perhaps a few snowflakes mixing in Saturday night. Sunday's high around freezing. And then next week, we're starting off with mild conditions again in the low 40s on Monday and Tuesday. Back to you.
Thank you, Caitlin. It is win or the season is over for the Bears starting on Saturday.
Head coach Ben Johnson has preached all week that this is the start of a new season. When Johnson was hired, he said his vision was to host playoff games at Soldier Field. The Packers will be in town Saturday for the wild card round. The Bears come into Saturday's game on a 2-game losing streak, but players and coaches are channeling that frustration into energy.
We're mentally prepared to play for 5 more weeks. And so that's our intent. We're going to go all out for this game.
Just putting everything on the line. Like, we don't have anything to hold back. You know what I mean? We don't have a guaranteed next week. It's really do or die. So it's like empty the gas tank with everything that you have for this week.
Bringing that frustration to work, understanding, where we're at, but also understanding where we can go and understand the urgency of where we're at and what we have to do to be able to, come out victorious at the end of this.
You can watch the Packers and Bears game on Saturday at 7 p.m. right here on Fox Chicago. Our coverage begins with Bears Game Day live at 12:30. Stay with us here on Fox Chicago because after the game, we've got full post-game coverage on your home of the Bears. An effort to institute snap curfews to stop those violent teen gatherings has new life today.
Yeah, city council members took action, and Paris is joining us live from City Hall with the latest on what's happening there. Paris, what can you tell us?
Yeah, Sylvia and Natalie, City Council's Public Safety Committee just wrapped up a session right now, and they voted to pass an ordinance that would institute a revised SNAP curfew. They voted 10-4 in this committee to pass this ordinance despite the mayor's objections. The catch here with this new ordinance is that police would have to give everybody a 12-hour notice before they institute a curfew at any location at any time throughout the day, throughout the city, to curb violent teen gatherings. Mayor Johnson said, well, there's already a curfew in place, 10 p.m. Here are his remarks just before that vote went down.
There's a 10 p.m. curfew that has been on the books for some time. I've never been opposed to that. Now, let me be absolutely clear. What I'm opposed to is giving unilateral control to one entity of government to make a determination in a SNAP notice that could be a violation to people's civil rights.
So those comments come minutes before the committee here votes to pass an ordinance against his will. This kind of is becoming a trend as the budget also passed against the mayor's will. So council exerting their independence here, voting 10-4 to approve this despite record crime drops in 2025. Aldermen in support of this curfew say there is more that needs to be done to continue to drive that violent crime rate down.
It should not be vetoed. This is a curfew, a teen curfew that we need for the longest time. We've seen a lot of teen takeovers happen in downtown and in other parts of the city. I think it's needed because it gives accountability to our young people that there's consequences, that if you're in downtown, and we want to make sure that these teens are for their safety as well and for the safety of downtown. We need this teen curfew.
So what happens now? This revised, quote-unquote, SNAP curfew proposal goes to the full city council for a vote. The committee here today also considered a partner ordinance that would fine social media companies for failing to remove posts that police want removed, posts that might be a danger to public safety, that might accelerate teen trends from getting wild. So getting social media companies here to be a part of the solution. That ordinance was delayed today. It didn't pass, but the curfew ordinance did pass. So that will go to the full city council for a vote. Sylvia, Natalie?
Okay. Thank you, Paris. We'll be right back.
This January at Renewal.
Welcome back. It's 12:38. Kroger is ending its grocery delivery service in Chicago. The company launched the service in 2022 with the promise of 30-minute delivery or less. The hope was to compete with Amazon and Walmart. Kroger says Instacart is still available for grocery delivery at its stores.
Now it's time to look at your business headlines with CJ Papa.
President Trump says Venezuela will turn over up to 50 million barrels of oil to the U.S. Also, he plans to meet reps of the 3 largest U.S. oil companies. They will chat about investments in the South American nation's oil sector. Chevron is the only U.S. oil company now active in Venezuela. Warner Brothers is recommending its shareholders reject Paramount's amended hostile bid for the company. It called Paramount's latest offer inadequate and expressed concerns the deal might not close. Warner Brothers Discovery continues to support the offer from Netflix. Grocery giant Albertsons says the government shutdown and delays in SNAP benefits cut into profits in the recent quarter. However, it was helped by pharmacy sales and digital sales in the period. And egg prices are finally coming down, but that cut into the profit for the nation's largest egg producer in the recent quarter. However, Cal-Maine Foods' earnings were better than Wall Street was predicting. The company says cage-free, organic, and other premium varieties of eggs are driving a greater portion of sales. That's business. CJ Papa, Fox Chicago.
Our noon show will be wrapping up here in just about 20 minutes, but Chicago Live is just getting started.
And Anita is standing by with a look at what's ahead. Hi, Anita.
Hey, ladies. Yeah, we have a jam-packed show today on tap. I'll tell you this. We have a lot of hard topics that we need to get through, that we're going to wade through, but we have 3 hours to do it. So that's the point of having Chicago Live, so we can have more thoughtful conversations that may take a little bit more time to kind of walk through. For instance, a disturbing child sexploitation lawsuit against Roblox Corporation that's been filed on behalf of a Cook County father and his 9-year-old son that alleges the corporation is accountable for creating what they say is essentially a breeding ground for predators. We'll talk about it. That's in our 3 o'clock hour. We've also talked to the city's inspector general many times, but today in our 2 o'clock hour, we have the CPS inspector general who just came out with a report that will literally make jaws drop. Findings like a former CPS special education teacher who operated an OnlyFans page that featured explicit photos and videos, including 2 photos that were taken in the school's bathroom. Yes. We'll wait to go into further detail on the show, but just wow on that. And in our first hour of Chicago Live today, I'm going to be talking with a former U.S. Navy intelligence specialist, police officer, and background investigator who says it's great to hear that Illinois has some new mandates they're beginning to implement in terms of new police hiring reform. But he says this is following the murder of Sonia Massey, and he's questioning whether the reform efforts are actually targeting the right issue here. So like I said, some tough stories that we need to get through, some long overdue upgrades though at Illinois' most popular state park. We'll get to that as well. And of course, ladies, we couldn't let you have all the fun with the new tech with the CES show. So we're getting a report from Vegas to see the latest innovations too. So we get to have a little woosah moment and smile with those things, and we'll see everybody online for all of it.
All right, sounds great. Thanks, Anita.
For one of the world's top cocktail bars teaming up with the Four Seasons.
Coming up, what's shaking at Chicago's highest speakeasy? We'll be right back.
You're watching the
Well, if you are looking for a cocktail experience with a view, this one is on a whole nother level. The Mile High Cocktail Club is popping up on the 46th floor of the Four Seasons Hotel, featuring a special collaboration with the world-famous Handshake Speakeasy.
And joining us now is Jeremy Fossack. He is the head bartender at the Four Seasons with a look at cocktails and all the experience. Jeremy, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
First of all, explain to everybody the relevance and the importance of this collaboration. Maybe they're not familiar with the handshake. We all know and love the Four Seasons, but explain the handshake concept.
Yeah, of course. So basically, we run a collaboration with Handshake. We're currently the #2 best bar in the world by the World Top 50, which is a big deal. So we bring like an international world-class cocktail basically in Chicago at the Four Seasons, and we are located on the 46th floor. We are basically running this cocktail program into like an intimate place with like the most beautiful view of the city.
So pretty.
And yeah, it's incredible, and we are really lucky to collaborate with Handshake.
How long are you going to be there, first of all? And second of all, tell us what you brought in today.
Yeah, of course. So we're going to be there until the end of February.
Okay.
Hope they extend it, though.
Yes. And today I bring 4 different cocktails. The first one's going to be a non-alcoholic cocktail. So we're doing like some champagne tea. This one is made with a berry meritage for Rare Tea Cellar, who are based in Chicago.
Can I tell you something? I tried your tea, the chamomile drink. It was a chamomile. I was just telling her about it, and it was sparkling. And I thought, this tastes like champagne. You guys do a great job with the non-alcoholic area.
Yes,
so
definitely.
delicious.
Especially for dry January, we know like people are not drinking this month, so we're offering like a large variety of non-alcoholic options. So this one is one of them. The second drink's gonna be called the Carino. So this one is a take on the coquito. It's made with rum, yellow chartreuse.
Why does this have Sylvia written all over it?
Season. I have to tell you, I've made 5 batches of coquito this year. I want to try yours.
Yeah, absolutely. The third one's going to be a butter mushroom old-fashioned. So this one is really creative. It's really earthy. We make it with like a brown butter, and it's really creative and beautiful.
Yeah, that's Jake's favorite. Jake went with me once, and he loved that one.
Can you see that there are mushrooms in this drink? I don't know if, because we got a shot of it, but I don't know if you can see it from your. Isn't that
and
amazing?
who would ever think to put mushrooms in a cocktail, let alone an old-fashioned, right?
Right. Okay. Then what is this one with like the fuzzball on
So this
top?
one is called So this one is called Once Upon a Time in Oaxaca. It's made with mezcal. We infuse it with fresh mint, and we clarified it with all milk. So it's going to be a clarified milk punch. And what we do, we set it on fire in front of the guests to represent the way we make mezcal.
It's super cool.
So what is that though?
So it's steel wool, and we basically burn it in front of the guests.
But you don't put it in
we don't put it in the
kind of a fun
we burn it and then we remove it while selling it.
It was like a cotton candy-esque kind of
but
thing,
then like clarified milk and everything. So these drinks are so unusual, and I love that you guys are taking like kind of a 2.0 step, and you're combining these different things that we normally would not find. And I think the reception, people love it, right?
Absolutely. People understand that those drinks take between 3 to 7 days. There's a lot of technique. We sous vide a lot, we clarified, we infuse, and it shows when you actually drink it, and it's different from a regular mixing drink that you're gonna have like in a regular bar.
They take days to make these.
I mean, how do you come up with inspiration for this? I mean, are you looking at flavors globally? I would think, right?
No, for sure. We obviously work like seasonally. I would try to take inspiration from classic, and then we add like something seasonal, and then we basically transform it the way we want.
And I love it. It's really cool because I love it. You guys call it the Mile High Club. And what floor are you on?
46.
46th floor. So you've got to go there. You get a special key. You walk into what was once upon a time just a suite. And it's this beautiful, very wonderful, gorgeous view bar where you get to try drinks you've never experienced.
How fun.
Yeah, I'm ready to go back.
How do you make reservations?
So you can make reservations through Open Table, and it's really well recommended since we have like a limited space. So I recommend everyone to make a reservation on Open Table.
Thank you.
No, of course. Thank you for having me.
You'll have to come back. So after she has the baby, she can go and try.
Absolutely.
Well, you better extend it beyond February is what I'm saying.
You can go now because of the non-alcohol.
I know.
We would love to extend it, honestly.
You will.
Please do.
Hopefully.
Like you did the last time. Great to see you. Thank you for coming.
Good to see you too.
Yes.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. You could still go because they have all.
This pro.
You use Evian skin cream. And sometimes you wear L'air du Temps. But not today.
Ooh, Jake says it's one of the most iconic movie moments in cinema history, and now Jodie Foster only sat down with one station in Chicago to look back on her most famous role 35 years ago, Jake.
Yeah, she has to say Jake said, because Sylvia has not seen The Silence of the Lambs.
And why haven't I?
Because apparently
I was having babies in the 90s.
35 years ago is an excuse to not see any movie ever. 35 years ago, a little film called The Silence of the Lambs opened in theaters. It would go on to win 5 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Oscars for its lead actors, Anthony Hopkins and Jodie Foster. It is one of my top 10 favorite films of all time. And when I recently sat down with Jodie Foster, I used the opportunity to look back on one of the film's most iconic scenes. Jodie told me all about her first day on set with Hannibal himself, Mr. Anthony Hopkins, and how the mind games played in that iconic movie moment were played behind the scenes as well.
Good morning.
Dr. Lecter, my name is Clarice Starling.
I'd love to ask you about the days spent shooting the scene where Clarice Starling meets Dr. Lecter for the first time in his cell. I just think it's some of the greatest filmmaking of all time. It's 2 of my all-time great performances. And I just love to know what you remember about the days shooting that sequence when Clarice first met Hannibal.
Right. Well, it is the first time that I worked with Anthony Hopkins on that day. And he was screwed into his little compartment in his prison cell because Christy Zia, the wonderful production designer, had organized this sort of subterranean look. It was all on stage. It was this subterranean look, and she really wanted these glass. She wanted it all to be in glass, which meant that there were steel rivets that kept him in his prison cell, so he couldn't leave.
The census taker once tried to test me. I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
And we shot all of his stuff on one day because the scenes were so long. We shot all of my stuff on the next day. And because they did this kind of like to camera point of view where the characters were looking at the camera, I never really saw him because I was behind the camera and the dolly when he was doing his stuff. And it was the opposite when I was doing mine. So it was this very weird thing of looking down the lens when he was talking to me and I could hear his voice. But what I saw in the lens was just a camera. So all of those scenes, interestingly, were 2 people talking to cameras separately.
And that accent you've tried so desperately to shed, pure West Virginia. What does your father do? Is he a coal miner? Does he stink of the land?
Is it true that Hannibal mocking Clarice's accent, was that ad-libbed on his part, or was all that just so good in the script that we assume it was ad-libbed?
No, that was a total improvisation on his part. I didn't see it coming, and I think you can really see the pain in my face when the other actor is making fun of my accent, and it was just a wonderful moment. I think that really resonates in the movie, that he wants to hurt her in order to dominate her.
You see a lot, Doctor. But are you strong enough to point that high-powered perception at yourself?
And once she agrees to be open and to say, wow, you really see a lot, then he's able to say, okay, now we can have a conversation. It's a very complicated relationship, a beautiful one, between somebody who is perceived as a monster and somebody who's perceived as the hero.
That expires in 1 week. You're not real FBI, are you?
I'm still in training at the academy.
Jack Crawford sent a trainee to me.
Jodie Foster can be seen on the big screen in her new thriller, A Private Life, later this month. Find out more about that movie on my Instagram at Jake's
That's cool. It must have been great to talk to her.
It was. I've spoken to her a few times, and I've never really had like a reason or a way in to ask about that movie.
You got to be careful how you do that,
because they're there to talk about another movie, and you don't want to. But luckily, she and her team gave us some extra time at Fox 32, and they were just really great. She was very open, told great stories. I mean, she's been working, like I said. Next month is the 50th anniversary of Taxi Driver.
Wow.
She's been working for a long time.
That's awesome.
She's got good stories.
That's great.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Save big money this new year at Menards.
We have breaking news, a deadly shooting involving ICE agents in Minneapolis. Right now, we know a driver was shot and killed after she allegedly tried to run over law enforcement officers. Minneapolis's Mayor Jacob Frey posted on X that he was aware of the shooting and demanded that ICE leave the city. We're going to have much more on this story coming up on the news at 4.
But for now, let's give you one final check of the forecast
sunshine
with Caitlin. Yeah.
Hello, beautiful. Yeah, finally getting in on that sunshine. Temperatures today are going to be mild as well, pushing into the mid-40s this afternoon. Right now, sitting in the 30s, but the chance for rain is back tomorrow. Scattered showers in the afternoon, heavy rain possible even at night with a few thunderstorms not out of the question Thursday night. A high of about 56 tomorrow, and we stay in the 50s into early Friday. Then the temperatures are going in the wrong direction, dropping down to about 40 as our high on Saturday. Saturday evening, of course, the Bears game right here on Fox Chicago, 7 p.m. Temperatures are going to be hovering right around 30, but we do have the chance for